the shadow Fed chair. What does that mean? Have you heard about it at all? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So thanks for tuning in. My name is Jayson, and I am here to bring you non-political, non-biased opinions of what's going on with our market right now. And if you haven't heard of the shadow Fed chair, or you haven't seen any of my content about what these four guys could possibly do to affect your mortgages, your housing payments, more importantly, then stay tuned. That's what we're going to talk about today. So first, let's get into the names that are being thrown around, and then for this potential position, and then we're going to talk about what does it mean, how does it actually act, and most importantly, how does it affect you? There's some names being floated around as potential successors, and the names of these people are Kevin Hassett. He is the head of the National Economic Council and former Council of Economic Advisors under President Trump. He's well liked in Trump circles and often sits near the top of the rumor mill. That's according to the New York Post. Kevin Warsh is a former Fed governor with crisis-era street cred, often mentioned as a frontrunner alongside Hassett, thanks to his market savvy and experience, according to Investopedia. Christopher Waller, current Fed governor, and seen as less political, more dovish. He's consistently listed among the top contenders according to Wikipedia and The Times. James Bullard, former president of the St. Louis Fed, recently added to Trump's wider list of about 10 candidates per the Wall Street Journal. Mark Summerlin, ex-economic advisor during the Bush administration, also part of that expanded list of potential names. Stephen Myron, just tapped by President Trump to fill a vacancy on the Fed board after Adriana Kugler's resignation. He's not a chair pick, but a foot in the door for a potential long-term role. It's the two Kevins, Hassett and Warsh, that seem to be running neck and neck. So what does that mean? How can these guys affect you? Right now, we are needing interest rate drops, and the Fed has not done so for quite a while. Jerome Powell is seemingly to be playing politics. He says he doesn't play politics, but it was not surprising that it happened to get a rate cut right before the last election. Obviously, lower rates trigger a better market, which could sway voters one way or the other. Too little, too late. President Trump consistently calls him Jerome Too Late Powell, which it's not an unreasonable nickname, because just like he waited too long to raise the rates in the first place during the COVID era and letting inflation get way out of control, he's now waiting too long to reduce the rates and therefore causing a problem with our economy. What does it mean for you, and what does it matter? Because right now, Jerome Powell is in his position until May of 2026. It's really weird, ironic, odd, whatever you want to put there, that the president can appoint the Fed chair, but he cannot fire. It's kind of odd. Anybody that you hire, you should be able to fire. And President Trump did appoint him back during his first term when he was the 45th president, and he was reappointed, I should say, by Biden, and now he's serving the last of his terms and he will not be continuing. So what does it mean? So let's use this guy as though he is Jerome Powell. He's the current shadow Fed chair. Actually, no, let's not use that. Let's use some first form master brain for the morning. So Jerome Powell, little guy, little bottle, right? So let's pretend that he is the current chair. He is the Fed chair. He's the one that makes the decisions. So he's a spokesperson. He's the one influencing the rest of the governors of the Fed board. So as he influences them in votes and other things to not reduce the rates, well, we don't get a rate reduction. And it was the first time in the last vote that two people were opposed. It's the first time since 1993 that that's happened. So there's the dissension, which is why rates have also subsided, which is also why there's an expectation across the board that we see a reduction in the rates come the next meeting. So now, enough of the first form here. So here's the shadow Fed chair, right? So he casts a shadow. Now, what this means is whoever's appointed is going to want a lower interest rate. It also means that if he has the shadow, he's the overcast, given the shadow over the current Fed chair, then the rest of the board is going to vote how this guy wants to vote, because they want to, I guess he can determine whether or not they have their jobs. I don't understand that part of it, but at any rate, they will start to vote the way of him. And you can tell that as people are appointed into the Fed, as I just briefly talked about, those people will also be very aggressive on reducing the interest rates to make housing affordable again. So current Fed chair, shadow Fed chair, everybody's going to get in line with this guy to then lower rates. So if a shadow chair is named, then everybody knows who it is and his direction for the future of economy, and we can get there sooner than later, meaning we don't have to wait until May of next year to get a rate reduction and to really get this thing on track. So that is what the Fed shadow chair is about. I will continue to talk about that, especially as it's named, but want to get a little bit ahead of it here, and hopefully you're getting something out of this. Please drop those questions below. I would love to have those conversations and share this with somebody who may also be curious or in the housing market, wondering what's going to happen in the future. And let's use facts, not opinions, to educate people. And yeah, talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.